There's like not even any warning either. I didn't even remind people or post about, hey, don't forget we're going live on Saturdays now. Hello. My name is Sasha with Ray of Hope, Reiki, and more, and I sell crystals, and we talk about holistic things, and we're supposed to start going live on Saturdays to have like a little book club moment. Like, it sounds good. The quality sounds good. Cool. Do you know how to tag? Will you do the tag thing? Will you tag everybody? Do you, and then I don't think, oh yeah, that's fine. And then, what else was I thinking? Can you share it in the VIP group? Maybe when I mix this, I got like lots of stuff on it. I should tag Crystal because she's the one that said, don't skip today, do it today. So we'll give it a minute. Oh, yuck. Ew. Okay, thanks. Thank you for your help. No, that is definitely not who. Delete. Good grief. Oh my gosh. What a close-up too. I don't know that I like this. That's okay. We're just gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. So everybody voted on the page that we were gonna start reading the Chakra Healing Book first. A beginning guide to self-healing techniques that balance the chakras. So this book I've referenced a lot. I don't know that I am the best book reader. Hey, but by doing this, it kind of also holds me accountable. If we go live on Saturdays, we pick a book, vote on a book on the page, and then I'll definitely make that look a lot prettier next time too, if this is where I'm going to go live reading the books. Anyways, we voted on this book. And what I mean about me not being the best book reader is I kind of jump around. Like, I don't really feel like I sit there and like I'll just jump. Okay, I want to refresh my memory about a third eye, and I'll grab this book and I'll jump and start reading about my third eye and stuff like that, as opposed to like starting a book from front to back. I feel like a lot of spiritual books are really easy to jump around in, but I don't know. Especially like if you're looking up herbs or stuff like that. But this will be fun for us to just read it. I'm glad you found your book. I'm glad you found your book. That means you can follow along with me. Troy was like, why are you putting that robe on? Are you cold? And I was like, no, but I want to be comfortable and I'll just wear this robe, my comfy, snuggy robe, every time we do the book club live, so that I don't have to like make sure my clothes are presentable, because I have lived in my clothes all day and I haven't showered yet. TMI. Oh my gosh, this is not a good idea to do this in the evenings, you guys. My brain is not gonna work. I've cooked in it. How many times do your kids, how many times do your kids ask for food on the weekends? Like 1,000. Before 11 o'clock, I'd already prepared them 3 meals. And then I made bread, so I had flour all over my shirt. And then I've ate. I'm not I'm a slob, so anyways. I didn't want my, what? Oh my gosh. Jen, I am live. I'm gonna pull this down and put do not disturb. Maybe I'll tag her in here. She's not even supposed to be up. She's supposed to be sleeping. What is it? It's 10 o'clock there. That's way past her bedtime. Why? I don't even know what you did the face to. Was that a pretty good face? Hey, hey. Okay, so this is the book you guys voted on, the Chakra Healing Book, and we're gonna start reading it tonight. I don't know how far we'll get, and I don't even know how these are gonna go, or if I'm even gonna like doing these or not, but we're just gonna wing it. We are going to wing it. I'm not gonna read, what do they call it, the preface or whatever that, the introduction. When my new page, no, I'm not gonna read that part. I'm not gonna read that part. You messaged me, Rooster, and I was like, I gotta put this on Do Not Disturb. What are you doing up? What are you doing up? I know you just messaged me because it dinged on my phone, and that's what made me be like, crap, I gotta put this on Do Not Disturb. Because if I go live, then somebody's gonna call. Not you. You're not supposed to be up right now. Anyways, we are reading this book tonight. We go live on Saturdays now, Saturday night lives, reading the book that the people picked. And I already feel crazy because I am cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Troy's probably like, yes, now she's not bothering me at nighttime. Okay. So I skipped to page 10 if you have the books, because some people already had the book, or some people purchased the book off of Amazon is where I got mine. And so they want to follow around. Writing poems and having realizations. I love you too. Go to bed. Go to bed. Only a nope, babe. That's what Cutler says. Only a nope when he wants to tell me no. That kid. I swear that kid. Something's going on with his eyes. I don't know. $3? Faye, that is a steal of a deal. Oh my gosh, I would have bought up a ton and like resold them, because that's where my mind goes. $5 chakra books. Hey, hey. That, yeah, somebody put, and it's because that is crazy. I don't think that these are expensive on Amazon. I want to say it's like 15 or close to 15. I don't think they're 20. But this is the book we're reading tonight. I don't even know if we have a Barnes & Noble here. I know we have one in Idaho Falls. That's like 2 towns over, and I hardly ever go there anymore. Doing good. Doing good. I don't know what I've done today. I was setting up the live table, so if you guys have been waiting for Ruby Record Keepers and you do not watch the live on Tuesday, you are going to be sad. If you like Amethyst Dragons and you do not watch the live on Tuesday, you are going to be sad. If you like incense cones, you're going to be sad. Don't miss out. Except for the incense cones are kind of weird. I'll explain that more. Like, I don't know. I feel like they labeled them wrong. And I'll tell you what I think they smell like, but I'll tell you what they sold me them as, if that makes sense. Like the rosemary kind of smells minty, and the minty kind of smells rosemary. So do I just switch that? But my anal self says not to. Oh no. Sorry, girl. I did not know you were there. That's very interesting. I was trying to get you in for a distance Reiki. Okay, we are going to start on page 10, the powerful chakra system. I believe this would be chapter 1, right? This is probably chapter 1. Beautiful colors. In part 1, you will build your foundation of knowledge about the chakra system. Chapter 1 introduces you to the unique qualities and powers of the 7 major energy centers in your body, so you can better understand why it's important to keep them balanced and free of blockages. In Chapter 2, you'll learn about the different healing techniques that can have been developed to keep the chakra system healthy. Learn about these different techniques may help you figure out which healing method suits you best. I giggled because my ADD self, when I'm reading, I think about like 10 different things at once. So this should be interesting. I'm super thirsty. Sorry, guys. Okay. An overview of the chakras. In this chapter, I'll introduce the chakra system, what chakras are, how to feel them, how they work, some myths and warnings about chakra healing work, and how to safely engage with your energy centers. You'll learn about each chakra, individually characteristics, and possible causes for energy blocks, as well as what happens to your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health when your chakras are in or out of harmony. What are chakras? You are already familiar with your physical body. You know how it feels to flex or extend an area of your body, that your muscles are attached to your bones, that your nerve signals to your limbs, torso, and head, and that what you eat and drink affects your health. In these ways, you can already see how aspects of your physical being are connected to each other, and how your perceptions through touch, smell, taste, sight, and hearing inform each other, creating your life experience. However, your physical body is not the only body you have. Whether you're studying chakras or quantum physics, you come to learn that everything in energy with its own vibrational frequency, from the most basic atoms that create our cells, organs, bones, muscles, and bodily systems, to the most expansive planet in the solar system. Everything is made up of energy, and that energy has many names. If you have the book and you're following along, I do not know. Chi, prana, mana, odic force, bioplasm, and a life force energy, among many others. Don't tell on me that I skipped 2 of those. Okay? Don't tell on me. The energy body is the human energy field that extends beyond the physical body. Much as your physical body consists of many layers, your nervous system, musculature, and skeletal system with intricate overlapping functions, your energy body also consists of many interacting layers. Like your physical body, each layer serves a specific purpose, and the layers work collectively as one. Together, the layers of your energy body are called your aura. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to say that in case I didn't know where it was headed. But I do talk about that a lot. So, like, we're going to get off on tangents. That's what I say. I don't know how far we'll get in the book. But when I'm doing a Reiki on someone, it's very interesting. So you can, when you come in, you can kind of like, if you've ever worked with energy, you feel the pushback, right? When you're working with energy and you get to a certain point, you'll feel the pushback of that energy ball that you're making. It's the same thing like with your aura. I can feel the pushback of where your aura is at. So like if you have something really unhealed in a spot, you can have like no protection in your aura, and I can go all the way, and I'm like, ew, we really need to work on that and rebalancing and like getting our energy built back up so that we have that protective layer. So it's, if you work with energy, it's kind of interesting to see where your energy pushes back, and that's kind of like where your aura is at. Okay, I should probably have like a bookmark thing so that I don't, where was I? It said aura, that's what I remember. Okay, together the layers of your energy body are called your aura. Your aura interacts with your physical body as well as your energy centers or chakras. The word chakra is derived from the Sanskrit word kakra. Kakra? That sounds horrible. Oh, this is great. Meaning wheel. It was first mentioned in the Vedas, ancient Hindu text that dates to around 1500 BCE. Throughout history, many cultures, including the Egyptians, Hindus, Chinese, Sufis, Zarathustra, oh my gosh, Zarathustrians, wait, let's just commit to it. Greeks, Native Americans, Incas, and Mayans, amongst others. They should have put the ones hard to pronounce, amongst others. Have all known these energy centers or the chakra systems to be reflections of the natural law that exist within the universe and an intertwined counterpart to our physical selves. Chakras are energy vortexes that exist within each of us. These energy vortexes transport energy from the universe around you into your aura and body, as well as between the physical body and the layers of your aura. You can think of your chakra system as similar to a spiritual bloodstream. Blood carries oxygen, nutrients, and hormones throughout the body, helps regulate and balance the body, and protects the body by removing waste products and clotting when the body is harmed. Much in the same way your bloodstream connects and supports your many other physical body systems, your chakras system connects and supports your physical self and your energy self. Very interesting. Hello, Miss Margaret. Hello, girl. Okay, so far this stuff is just kind of like almost like mathematical. Not very interesting to me right now, but it's basic. We gotta get through the basic stuff to get to the fun stuff, right? All living things, humans, animals, plants, trees, even the earth, have a chakra system, a living system of energy vortexes that exist within them. So that is fun too when you're playing around with energy and like auras and stuff. Oh, thank you. You not only can you push back on your aura, but you can feel a plant's aura. You can feel an animal's aura. You can feel a crystal's aura. So it's just fun to play around with energy because everything has energy. There are seven major chakras in the body as well as several minor ones. Each one is associated with specific organs and glands, physical functions and dysfunctions, and emotional, mental, and spiritual issues. We'll get into more specifics about each later in this chapter. When we get in touch with the energy within our chakras, we connect with ourselves more fully and learn how to heal ourselves on all levels, creating true holistic healing. This is why mindfulness-based practices such as meditation help connect the mind with the body and the spirit. Why certain physical activities can help clear your head and feel more centered, and why cultivating your spirit heals your mind and body. So when I was reading that part, like it reminded me of, I don't know if you guys have paid attention to when I talk about when I go and see my autoimmune specialist, which I haven't done in a while. When I was going to see him, he was talking about how all of my labs were like horrendous, but he was super excited because he could tell, what he was talking about is he could tell my fighter cells, like the cells that are going to help me get better faster, going to help me, my body do better for me, were actually really high. And he was like, and you're telling me you're doing all this like Reiki and meditation work and stuff. And he actually, like, he puts in my plan of care, continue meditation daily, like continue the Reiki, like he puts that in my plan because he can see that it helps like my autoimmune systems from having such a high cortisol level, like, and my cortisol is flipped, which is usually what causes a ton of like autoimmune issues. So I'm gonna grab like a little piece of paper just so that I can keep where I'm reading, because I talk too much. I talk too much. I'm reading a book. I'm obviously gonna talk. I need something. Yeah. Do 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 do. An index card will be perfect. Okay. Why cultivating your spirit heals your mind and body. It is all connected. Do you like this? Oh, that's sweet. I'm just talking, so it's kind of weird for me, but I think the more we do this, the more interaction we'll get with other people, and it is nice because I do forget to read my things. Like, and one of my New Year's resolutions, or one of my goals, my vision boards, is like, I want to put on there on my vision board books that I completed and read. So Miami checking in. Hey girl, hey. That sounds fun. We just on the couch checking in from Idaho. So, yeah. And plus, even if we don't get a ton of people in here, it is pretty calming. Ooh, fill your chakras. To get in touch with your energy, hold your hands 1 inch apart, palms facing each other. This is one of the first exercises you learn when you do like a Reiki course. Get familiar with warmth and energy exchanging between your hands. Our hands contain minor chakras. Separate your hands slightly, stretching out the energy between your palms. Then bring them closer together again, condensing your energy. Repeat a few times, playing with the energy between the palms of your hands. Don't worry if you don't seem to feel anything at first. Relax, clear your mind, and continue to practice remaining open and in tune with yourself. Okay, so what you do is you take your hands like this far apart, and what I want you to do is kind of imagine like a ball of energy between your palms going in a circular motion. Just not like too fast, just in a circular motion. And just continue to focus on that part going around and around in a circular motion. So there's energy coming out of this part of this hand and energy coming out of this hand, and you're imagining them coming together into this ball of energy right here. Taking deep breaths in your nose, letting go. Focusing on that space in between your hands. I can actually see the aura, but that's harder. Focusing on that energy. You should start to feel it getting warmer. Even just thinking about it getting warmer is helpful. Keep thinking about the energy coming together from both hands into this ball. Now pull your hands out a little bit and then slowly come back in and see if you can feel any resistance. You should be able to feel some resistance. Like you'll know when you're pushing in, it almost kind of feels like you can feel like a wind, or you almost kind of feel like your hands are magnets when you push magnets together that are the opposite way, and they won't connect because they're not facing the right direction. It should kind of feel like that. If you're not feeling that, just keep concentrating on that space, creating bigger and bigger energy. That energy ball in there, just going circular. Focusing on breathing. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Go out again. And then come back in again. Until you feel that resistance, and it's gonna feel like a magnet. It could feel like that too, your hands hurting. It's gonna be different for everybody. So to me, I almost kind of feel like a wind, and then it feels like magnets being pushed, like trying to force magnets to push together that won't fit, like they're opposite of the ones that can connect, facing the wrong way. That's kind of how it feels to me. And then you can like practice and keep doing that, and you can try to make the energy ball, you can pull your hands out further and try to build a bigger energy ball. If you have a partner, you can try to pass the energy back and forth. It's just fun. Interesting. Maybe you're just like really sensitive to that because of your nerve pain. Are you becoming more familiar with your energy? I don't know. Did anybody else try it besides Margaret? Are you guys still trying it? I don't want to rush you. That was fun though. Hey, hey! How are you? We are reading our chakra book. We just did a little energy exercise. As you become more familiar with your energy, you will not only be able to notice the warmth of your hands, which will increase even when your hands are further apart, but also a slight energy charge between them. With time and practice, you'll be able to feel this charge more strongly, even when you separate your hands further apart. You can feel your major chakras too. I could feel the energy and resistance. See, isn't that so cool? So that practice right there, if you work on doing that like for 5 minutes, like every day, you can adapt that to working with energy more, and like being able to feel your aura and the resistance of where your aura is at. So like I said again, a pretty normal aura for me is like right about here. But like if some people have like maybe they're having a headache, or maybe there's something going on with their crown chakra, like their aura may be like non-existent at that point, or maybe it's like super clear out here craziness, like So it's just interesting. It's another tool you can use to kind of see what your body's doing. Hey, hey, how are you? We are reading a book. Reading a book. What was the point of getting this if I wasn't going to use it? Even when you separate your hands further apart. You could feel your major chakras too. For instance, to feel your heart chakra, place both hands on the center of your chest. Take a slow, steady breath through your nose. Feel the warmth and inner glow underneath your hands. You are not only feeling your heartbeat or the coursing of your blood, but also the sensation of your heart expanding. So a lot of the times when I do that with my heart chakra, you can work with a crystal that you have around you. That kind of helps as well. But if you want to do that too, where you put your hands, you actually want your right hand closer to your chest. For me, that's what works best, is to have your right hand, because your right hand really pushes energy into things for me. So right hand and then left hand on top. Now we're on our heart chakra, right? And we're taking deep breaths. And we're trying to imagine that energy ball that's in our heart chakra. And it can be like green. Usually heart chakras are green. There is like a little upper heart chakra that's pink. So I will try to imagine that energy ball of green going around in a steady circular motion. So how I tell when people's heart chakras are blocked is that circular motion. I can't get their energy to go in a circular motion. Or maybe that circular motion for me is going super, super fast, and so I have to try to force it to slow down. Or maybe it's going really, really slow and it needs to open more up. So then I'll try to speed their energy up a little bit to be more of that steady flow. So you're going to try to imagine that heart chakra going around in a steady motion, not too fast, not too slow, and taking deep breaths in and out and imagining beautiful love and warmth and that green color. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Seeing what you can feel. The more you can visualize the energy, the easier it's going to be for you to be able to pick up on pushing energy too. Mine's not that bad. Not that bad for reading a book. Not that bad. So you could do that with any chakra. And then when you're working with like certain chakras, you can pull like crystals that correlate with that chakra. And you can put that under your right hand and try to help balance the chakra more. Love it. We've already been on for 30 minutes, I think. Feel it? Congratulations. You are now getting in touch with your chakras. If you don't feel anything yet, don't worry. With time and practice, your sensitivity will increase. I do think that it's easier when you're trying to fill your chakras to actually being laying down with, again, a crystal that correlates with that color of that chakra. I really feel like that helps. So when I'm doing Reiki, and if I can't really get into somebody's chakra, like maybe they're too anxious or guarded, or maybe that spot's really, really blocked, one of my tricks is to pull out a crystal, and that really helps in being easier to open up that chakra and to be able to fill it. We are now on page 16. The power of chakras to heal. Knowledge of chakras for healing and enlightenment is ancient wisdom, wisdom that has been known in many ancient cultures for centuries. More recent interest in chakras is because we are starting to feel more and more that focusing solely on your physical health is not bringing us complete, that and focusing on physical health is not bringing us a complete wellness. I talk about this a lot. I wish that doctors' offices knew Reiki more. I wish that like holistic health, Eastern medicine, whatever you want to call it, I wish that they worked with modern medicine more. I wish that it was more treating the mind, body, and soul. Somebody has anxiety, yes, sometimes, or depression, sometimes they do need medication to help them cope and get through things, but also therapy, like, and also like what are techniques holistically they can use, what are herbs that they can use, what are some detoxes that they can do, what are some oils that they can do, what are some crystals that they can use, should they go see a Reiki person, should they take a meditation class, should they do sound healing. Like modern medicine and Eastern medicine, like all of it should come together to treat the whole person. Despite the many breakthroughs of modern medicine, something still feels missing or off, even though we can't quite put our finger on it. And that's exactly what brought me to, like, I was a nurse, so, and I would like be so mad at people because, like, if they weren't doing things all from the medical field when I was a nurse, because I like just so brainwashed at the time, like everything's science-based, everything has to be this way. And then modern medicine failed me, and they're not able to, like, doctors have a really, really hard time diagnosing things, especially complicated things, and then they kind of just like give up nowadays, where they're like, well, we'll see you back in a month, or like we'll see you back in 6 months, but you don't have a plan for me. Like, you're not treating me, you're not helping me heal. Like, what am I supposed to do in that 6 month time frame? And that's why I turned to like meditation and like holistic medicine, because I was like, I cannot, my quality of life is so low right now, and you just want me to come back in a month and you have like, I wasn't even given any prescriptions or anything. I wouldn't have accepted anything though, so I wouldn't have taken pain medicine, but it's just interesting. As the daughter of a Western physician, I am fully aware of Western medicine contributions to health and appreciate its value. I also do. I was just talking about that. I grew up reading my father's medical references and learned that the human body is pretty amazing. Even so, I believe people collectively are starting to realize that somehow, even if we don't understand it, other factors may influence our current health challenges. What if you learned that many of physical symptoms we experience, bearing events like car accidents and other direct physical trauma, could be prevented simply because many of our physical symptoms are expressions of what hasn't been addressed in our energy body. So that makes a lot of sense, because if we have like emotional, spiritual, like sometimes even physical trauma, but like if we have those kind of traumas that go untreated, like especially emotional traumas that go untreated, they can manifest in your body physically. So I kind of feel like that's where a lot of my autoimmune stuff happens from, is because my fight or flight, I was always fighting for like survival when I was growing up. My anxiety was always severely high, so my cortisol levels were always messed up. And because of that, and not being able to speak up and speak my truth, I literally just didn't talk at all, because if I talked, it would just be not good. You weren't allowed to have an opinion. So a lot of my autoimmune stuff is like I have lots of lymph nodes in my neck and shoulders. And so like you're not able to speak your truth. And then now I have these physical manifestations of health in that area where I wasn't allowed to emotionally speak my truth. So it's just kind of interesting. When our chakras are in balance, our lives are in complete harmony and our health is good. If a chakra becomes blocked, we will eventually experience emotional distress or disease. Because everything in energy, when we heal and maintain our energy body's health through modalities like acupuncture, Reiki, meditation, yoga, Qigong, among others, and make better lifestyle and diet choices, we actually heal issues that may come up before they manifest in our physical body. Very, very cool. I need another drink. Any questions so far? Not that I am a master of anything, but any questions? Who do we still have in here? Crystal, probably. Because I know she's reading along with the book. Who else is in here? Say hi. Say, I'm here. We're about to be on page 17. 17. Troy's not even watching. Like, what crap? He should be forced to sit down here and listen to my reading voice. I knew you were going to be in here. It doesn't show me how many people are in here. Kristen, hi girl, hey. I know you were in here, but anyways. The next part is myths about chakras, which is kind of interesting. I almost wonder if sometimes I'll read something and intuitively I'll disagree with something that's said. So it's kind of cool because we're reading along this book, but I'll definitely tell you my opinions of what I like think of something. I don't know if you guys like that though. I'm reading the book, but then I'm stopping and chatting about things that pop into my head. Before we get into the specifics of the chakra system, I want to dispel some myths about chakra healing work. Myth 1. Chakra healing is an outside job. What does that even mean, an outside job? Whether or not you receive outside healing assistance from a practitioner in your chakra healing journey, in the end, you are the one who is the healer of you. I agree. Not someone else. This is something I always tell my patients, even though I may sometimes use the term healer in connection with what I do. Healing is always an inside job. While healing practitioners can guide you on your journey, we are each responsible for our own healing. So, I agree with that. When you come and get a Reiki or you go to somebody and get a Reiki healing session, or you go to a sound bath or whatnot, like or you do a meditation somewhere, the healing comes from you. So working on somebody's energy and helping it to get back into the flow and alignment that it should be in is great. But when you go home after the session, your body has to digest and move forward and heal itself. Your body is the part that's doing the healing. I'm just helping getting the body realigned with the energy, like going in the right flow again. But if you don't work on yourself and if you don't like digest those things and let go of that energy, and like we'll talk about a lot of things, like sometimes there's spots where I feel like there's anger trapped or there's this trapped or whatnot, and you don't work on those things, then you're not progressing in your healing. So you are responsible for your healing, and your physical body after an energy healing session will do the healing process. The actual Reiki is just moving the energy back into alignment, but your body does the healing. Your body is an amazing thing. Myth number 2, chakra healing is affiliated with a specific religion. I've never even heard that. We know it ain't Mormon. We know it ain't that because I've been disowned. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, but okay, sorry. Although the original sources of the chakra system come from religious texts, chakra healing has since expanded to reach a broader understanding and practices, and is now embraced by people from many walks of life. I can't even focus. Oh, Jesus, take the wheel. It said chakra healing is affiliated with a specific religion. And I said, well, we know it ain't Mormon because I've been disowned. It's just the Mormon religion has a specific section in their text that literally leads with fear and scares people about Reiki. So it's just, I can't even help myself. That made my soul laugh so hard. Anyways, let's get back to this. Sorry, guys. And now embraced by people from many walks of life. Cultivating chakra health has become an important. That was inappropriate. It was not professional. I completely apologize.
I have a comment.
I don't know if people will be able to hear you because I don't know if that mic is going to work.
Yeah, it's blue.
Oh, okay.
I get what you're saying, but that's not the Mormon religion. The Mormon religion I grew up in taught that you were supposed to fellowship people that you thought were different. You were supposed to love everybody. And there's one thing that this whole thing you've taken us on,
this spiritual journey,
that's not the Mormon religion. That's people. That's weak-minded people that did that. And if there's one thing that I believe wholeheartedly, I would never allow a religion or any group of people to control how I treat others. That's my power. And it's my own.
It's very, very,
so anybody that can be swayed, it's a weak person. I'll let you get back to your book though.
Yeah. Troy made it all serious. I felt like I was at the principal's office for a minute. Okay. Woosah. Cultivating chakras health has become an important practice for many on a spiritual path and is not associated with religion. So, Yeah, I don't think that any specific religion has. Do you know? I know. I was like, ugh, heavy. He brought in the heavy. But it's true. It is true. I don't think I know of any specific religion that like claims Reiki. Oh my gosh, we could totally go into another part of this. So I think any religion that does any laying on of hands or praying for the sick or like any religion that uses their hands for physical healing, any parent that picks up their child when their child is hurt or sick and like kisses the boo boo or comforts their child, like that is energy work. I don't think that one specific religion or organization can claim to be the Reiki or whatever, because I feel like everyone can do Reiki. I don't believe you need to even get a Reiki certification to do Reiki. I do believe that it is helpful to take courses because they give you like a layout and they show you how to work with energy. They show you things that you should look for, not look for. Like it's nice to have like that educational background, but I don't believe that you need it in order to do it. You could already practice it on you already are. If you pick up your kid and you comfort your kid, if your kid comes to you when they're sick, you already are. If you're somebody who goes and does the laying on of hands for sick or prays for sick people or whatnot, like no one soul organization can claim it because we are people, we are made up of energy, we can all push energy, we can all heal with energy. Oh, the next one. No, I am not reading this. I am not reading this. Trey, you're not allowed to come in here because you make it too serious. I can laugh with it. You're still trying to heal. I can laugh with it. You're not allowed to come back. Um, myth number 3, chakra healing. Like, and anybody who has the book, who's in here who has the book? Because you know what this next part says. Who in here has the book?
First of all, if you tell me not to do it, that makes me want to do it. I promise I won't make it come.
Well, you brought the mood too serious.
Did I bring the mood down?
Yeah, it was too serious. It was too heavy. You're going through a lot. It was too heavy.
Hey, you go through things.
Crystal has the book. I know Faye has the book, but I don't know if she stayed. This next, I've only read the black, the bold one.
You were talking about how you don't have to have a certification for Reiki and stuff. I
have to pee. I wish you had a shirt on.
I have a shirt.
You could be
tank top.
Yeah. Well,
It's late.
Can you at least?
I'm comfortable.
Can you at least come like sit right here and talk to them while I pee real quick?
Let me get my shirt.
Okay.
Tank top's not.
I'm really taking the book with me though. I'm not giving him this sentence until I get back. Good grief. I cannot believe the next one. Okay, perfect.
Take the book.
I am.
I have plenty to talk about anyway. You left some good material. I don't really want to be on the camera though. Okay. She was talking about how when she first started this, she had somebody do Reiki. It was a distance Reiki. And after that, then she was able to, like, feel the energy and stuff. And there's the purists that say that you have to go through a course, and you can't do that. She's gone through courses now, but like she was saying, everybody has that power. And I actually have a theory too with crystals. I personally, like, I'm not gifted like a lot of you people. Like, I can't feel the vibrations and energies and stuff. But my theory is, like anybody can do Reiki without having to have the certification, you don't have to have the crystal to access certain vibrations. There's a lot of people that would disagree with that, but I like the example of citrine and pure, like real citrine, because 90% of citrine is fake, right?
It's not fake, it's heated
Heat
amethyst.
treated. Man-made.
It still has a really strong energy.
Everyone pretty much unanimously agrees that it's the same energy, though, right? Even though
Yes.
It's not the same crystal. I think the crystals are a tool, and if a person can focus enough, they could access the vibration of each crystal without having to use it.
I agree with that.
I can't. I don't have that, like, tuneness. I'm not in tune with stuff.
You're more in tune than you think you are.
Maybe with some stuff. But I can't pick up a crystal like you can and feel different vibrations.
Yeah, but a lot of people can't do that. That's like... Or if you practiced it, you'd be able to feel it more. Like, you know what I mean?
With all my free time, I could practice it. I'd like to learn how to play guitar, too, with all my free time.
Get out of here.
All right.
He's not going to go far, y'all. If you got the book.
It's because I got things to do, and you're going to be live all night.
What things to do? I'm not going to be live all night. I think we've dropped plenty of bombs tonight. Truth bombs, word bombs. No, I should stop saying that. I do not incite violence of any kind. Okay. Myth number 3, which I think this is the last myth we're on. It says... I know, I want him to go away. Chakra healing is a form of demonic or dark rituals. It's a myth. It says it right here in the book. It's a myth. True chakra healers done right is quite the opposite of demonic. You are infusing light, awareness, and consciousness into your body, mind, and spirit and heart, all of which dispels darkness. So for this part, I will say it is good to know your Reiki healer. So like your Reiki practitioner and how they think that they're doing energy work. Because I do think that there are some Reiki practitioners that can be confused and feel like the light is coming from them and they are healing people. I know that the light comes from somewhere else. I know that I do my Reiki practices with the beginning with a prayer and the end with a prayer. I know that I'm always pulling from light, love, and light. So, chakra healing is a form of demonic or dark ritual. It's not, but you do and should be cautious of who you get it done from. That's another thing that was kind of confusing for some people who were in the Mormon religion, specifically Troy's mom. She would like...
We bring up the Mormon religion a lot because I grew up LDS and we're in an LDS
Yeah,
area.
his whole family is pretty religious.
But I think it's Christianity a lot.
but it says something in the book that they have specifically, that they came out with and updated, and it says that anything done outside of prayer is frowned upon and should be like discouraged or whatnot. And so like I had to have the deep discussion about how I'm not doing anything wrong because I'm not doing anything outside of prayer. And we had the discussion about, again, how if you picking up your child to comfort them and you have physical touch, like you are doing a form of energy healing. So you just kind of...
That was the handbook put out, and the same paragraph actually talks about money. Be careful. It doesn't completely come out and say energy work is bad and you shouldn't do it. It warns you
to be cautious.
But it also talks about people looking for money, right?
Yeah.
But there's not a single person out there that would have a problem with you going to a therapist and sitting for 60 minutes and talking to them and paying them for that time. Nobody has a problem with that. Like, that's completely acceptable. But when it comes to energy work, there's people that think it's bad because you're being compensated for your time. That makes no sense.
It doesn't. I honestly believe that they will come out with, in the next like 2 to 5 years, they'll come out with another update that helps people understand a little bit more fully that it is okay for stuff like this. I just think that
Crystal's like the only one watching stuff.
It has to update. This phone says there's 2. This one says there's 5. People will rewatch.
It might be different other places, but like I said, we're in a Mormon area. Like, that's predominantly the religion around here.
It's kind of like Utah is predominantly Mormon as well. Idaho is very Mormon.
Idaho, Utah.
Yeah.
So we bring up.
But I think a lot of religions would try to frown upon Reiki because they feel like it's... I do understand it, because if a Reiki practitioner was like, I can heal your cancer, I can take away all of your pain, like, should I get real creepy? Stuff like that. I do feel like if a Reiki practitioner was doing that, then they would be going outside of the actual what the practice is supposed to be about. Because I don't believe I can heal cancer. I feel like if you use modern medicine and you're healing and Eastern medicine, stuff like this, Reiki, in combination, it helps healing the whole person, mind, body, and soul, like physical, emotional, spiritual self. So there are some things that could make Reiki not a good thing. You just have to know your practitioner, I guess.
You're not even reading a book anymore.
Yes, I am.
It's a tool.
I am reading a book.
It's kind of like essential oils. Yeah. Everybody's okay with essential oils.
Or going and seeing an eye person that reads your eye.
We actually had somebody specifically say to go do that. And these same people, it was a family member. And they came right out and said the eye person was a witch doctor, jokingly. But they were okay with doing that.
But they're not okay with what
they're not okay with what Sasha's doing. It makes no sense.
It's okay. Because I know what I'm doing is right. But I know what I'm doing.
Like I said, we're in a predominantly Mormon area. But what's really sad to me is 90% of Sasha's customers are members of the Mormon religion. But they're hiding. They are hiding. Because their own members that are supposed to fellowship them and love them would
persecute them. They would judge them.
They're hiding.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are confused. Some of them have seen spirits. Some of them have talked to spirits. Some of them have these gifts like Sasha. But they're scared and they're hiding. And that's sad.
See, you're doing it again.
It's not.
You're bringing me to a he like keeps punching my heart.
It's true though. That's sad.
It is true. It is sad.
It's their own members doing that to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're hiding.
Here's my little heart chakra.
There is a certain point where, not just Mormon religion, but Christianity, probably other religions too that I don't know a lot about, but they don't want you to grow past a certain point because now you've moved past their organized religion into yourself. And does that make sense? Like, there's a certain point where you've grown past that religion spiritually. And one of the things that I tried to convince my family members of, it's actually really interesting because the Mormon religion does these patriarchal blessings, right? And I got one when I was like 14. And there's a lot in there that I won't share as personal stuff, but one specific line says, "I'll be fearless in my beliefs." And one thing there's a lot of stuff that I believe, but here's another good example. At least in the Mormon religion, the goal is to eventually become like God. That's what you're working towards. At what point is that okay with the members? Is that after you die and you're in heaven? Or are we supposed to be working on that goal now? And at a certain point, energy work is going to become a part of that. God didn't just create the heavens and the earth and all that stuff without doing energy work. So at what point is it okay with the members to start to pursue those gifts? It's obviously not right now with most of them. Right now, you're just supposed to go to church.
Well, and you kind of have this barrier. This could be a freaking podcast,
I'm not
dude.
even reading a dang book anymore.
Yeah. There is like this older generation versus newer generation in religion as well. Like, where the older generation is really strict. Well, not even in religion, is more strict and less open because they didn't have all of these like spiritual awakenings and guidance from people, like groups of people like us coming together. And so like you really have this close-minded older generation like calling us witch doctors and like hokey and demonic worshippers and stuff like that. And then you have this newer generation that is kind of like, well, what if we could go beyond? What if we could find more ways in healing ourselves than just that? That's kind of like getting more open, and there's more information being sent out there, like through TikTok, like all sorts of social media. It's like easier for people to come across things that kind of pique their interest in, like, well, maybe this could be true, or maybe, oh, somebody's having spiritual signs like this. It just seems like the newer generation who is growing up with anything is possible and all of this spiritually awakened people that have taken forever to get there, they're becoming more open-minded, and older generation is staying more closed-minded. And I think that's another reason why we're finding a lot of younger generation falling away from organized religion a lot now, is because older generation is like saying, well, you can't be more open spiritually because that's not the way we did it back in the day. And you're going to push out a lot of people that would participate in your kind of religion because you're being so much of a box.
20 years ago, because Dawn's talking about yoga. 20 years ago, most people considered chiropractors to be quacks.
Yeah. And
20 years ago, people thought essential oils were ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's closed-minded people. There's a lot of states now.
It is.
Oregon specifically, Reiki is covered by your insurance.
Mm-hmm. what was I gonna say?
This is kind of like a podcast.
Yoga is satanic. I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Well, while you're thinking about it, another good thing is whether you believe in the energy work or not, everybody out there will agree that hypochondriacs are a real thing. Now, if you can believe that a hypochondriac can exist, I don't know that there's a word for the opposite. But if somebody can make themselves sick because their mind tells them that they are, don't you think that if your mind could focus enough, it could make you better? It's closed-mindedness. There's people complacency is the word. You're complacent in your spiritual growth. You don't want to grow anymore.
Holy crap. I don't know if we can do these lives, you guys. This is too deep. Wow.
These are like my patriarchal blessing, I'll be fearless in my beliefs. These are my beliefs.
Well, mine talks a lot about how I'm going to be helping people heal and stuff, and like this, mine makes complete sense for what kind of path I'm on. It makes complete sense, and it talks a lot about how Troy will have to protect me.
I told Matt and Kristen that the other day when they called.
Troy will have to protect me, and little did we know it was gonna be because of closed-minded people. Like, he's gonna have to protect me from like people that think that I'm satanic.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
We were talking about it. It was the day that you did the readings and you channeled for the first time, right?
Yeah, I tried to pull someone's spirit like forward without like setting the intention of who the person was.
You know what's interesting? Years ago, before Sasha even got into this stuff, and I never would have even imagined that we'd be where we are now. We're not people. I don't even like people.
We never liked people.
Now look at us.
We have a business about people.
It makes no sense. It's crazy. I have found more love and compassion in all these weirdos that I would have
call misfits.
Misfits that I honestly would have thought were strange people 2 years ago.
I like our band of misfits.
It's crazy to me. I forgot where I was going with that.
I don't know. I think this is why on podcasts they have to like edit, is because like you have moments where you forget. No, I'm gonna have to have a notebook next time.
So before all of this was even even remotely in the picture, Sasha had already told me when she was younger she used to have a lot of spiritual experiences. Mm-hmm. She had good ones and bad ones. She kind of...
Well, because as a nurse, I was a CNA first, and I was watching people die. Like,
the nursing home.
I was having a lot of spiritual experiences through watching people, and nursing homes are horrific because family members don't come until the person's dead, and then like here I was holding their hand and whispering like, and I'm like 17 years old, and I'm like whispering in their ears saying it's okay if you needs to go. Like, it's so traumatic. But and then like if you ever watch somebody pass away, it's a very spiritual thing. So I was seeing a lot of crazy things.
But that's not normal. It's not normal, so she kind of closed herself off to all that. And she's only recently started to open it back up, and so...
And
it's like a muscle.
When I'm praying for validation and for like, if you're wanting me to be on this path, Lord, if you're wanting me to tell people these crazy things that I feel like is super off the wall things, and you're wanting me to continue, like, you have to show me this. You have to like give me a sign. You have to, and every time he always comes through, and I always get that spiritual sign that I am on the right path and I do need to keep going. And I mean, I literally did that first reading I've ever done and just pulled somebody's spirit forward without having intention of who it was. And then because I don't know if you guys watch some of the mediums and stuff on TikTok, but that's what they do a lot of the times is they'll just sit there and channel. They'll have like 500 people on their TikTok and they'll just channel whatever spirit comes up and they're able to do that. So that I wanted to see if I could do that and I was able to do that. And I didn't want to limit myself anymore because God had given me that sign of those 3 butterflies when I asked for a butterfly sign specifically. And then I get into the car after I do that reading that way that I've never done before. And the song that is playing, like when I turn on the car, is Never Stop Praying.
Did you talk about the butterflies?
And then I was like bawling.
Did you talk about the butterfly thing? Or did I miss that?
Did you, you don't know what the butterfly thing is?
No, I know, but were you just talking about it?
I was just talking about it, yeah.
You know, here's some irony for you. Actually, first, another thing, you're talking about spiritual signs, right?
Yeah.
A spiritual sign for you is not a spiritual sign for somebody else. The Lord works in mysterious ways is a very common phrase. But what they don't say, but what they secretly think is the Lord works in mysterious ways until something mysterious happens, and then they blame it on Satan. There's been a whole lot of, honestly, just hate towards me, my family, Sasha, over this whole thing. And I don't think that Sasha would have gone through it alone. I don't blame it on the military, blame it on my stubbornness, whatever. I don't think Sasha could have got through the sheer just torture that we've gone through. And not from people we don't, from family. It's crazy to me. And it's because they just are so close-minded. But they'll say, for example, I've had repeatedly family members say that I'm full of hate and anger. Do I sound like I'm full of hate and anger?
No.
What hate and anger is hating the idea that people out there can do special things so much that you are okay with them being attacked, threatened, harassed, bullied. That to me is hate and anger. Hate and anger doesn't have to be you got mad and you yell at somebody. Turning your back on somebody because you don't agree with them, that's hateful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's if you go on this path of being spiritual and helping people and all this love, it's really hard to stay in organized religion because of the closed-mindedness. Because of the closed-mindedness is really hard. Yeah, the spiritual signs have pushed me forward. It's just crazy.
This is a conversation I actually had with Mom. Sasha was there.
You
gotta go again?
Don't be too bad about your mom.
You can't leave. I'm back down to a tank top. I'm chilling. It's nighttime. I gotta work tomorrow.
They don't have to see you.
All right.
I got anxiety.
So this is a real conversation that I had with my mom, right? Jesus, that's the key pillar of Christianity and the Mormon religion, and I don't know. There's probably a whole lot of religions I don't know about. So if I'm missing one, I'm sorry. But he was all about energy work. He blessed people. He healed people through laying on of hands and stuff. And the Mormon religion, they have, just so there's no question, I don't identify as Mormon anymore. You know what's funny is I told my family when all this happened, my testimony had never been stronger. And then they completely just didn't destroy that, but they severed that connection that attached me still to the Mormon religion. They didn't destroy my testimony in spirituality, but they did destroy what was left of my attachment to Mormons. But Jesus was all about energy work, healing people, blessing people,
touching people.
If Jesus walked into town tomorrow and started doing all these weird things, who do you think would crucify him?
Would it be spiritual people or would it be organized religion?
The own members of his church would persecute him.
I hope we don't. We have gone. That is one thing you're not supposed to talk about is religion.
Why? Because you lose
politics.
customers.
Because you could lose customers.
You could also gain customers. It's true. He would be persecuted if he walked into some. Think about it honestly. If you're on the fence, think about it honestly. Some strange guy looking all weird, poor, hobbles into town wearing some flip-flops and a beaten-up robe, and he touches somebody and says, "I've just healed this person." Who would persecute that person? Right. Members of his church.
Mm-hmm. It is crazy.
I actually have watched some. What's that rap guy?
A rap
Jolly, the big dude. You and Jen were talking about him. I can't remember his name. Come on.
Jelly
Roll.
Jelly Roll.
He's got a whole thing where he's doing a podcast and he's talking about how Jesus was. He hung out with all of the sinners.
He did.
He did not like the vain people who were all about money and.
Well, and he, like, one of the times he goes into the church and it's a Sunday and there was like somebody needing help on a Sunday, but people were like, we have church, we cannot help you on a Sunday. And Jesus is like, you help people always. You love people always. Just because it's a Sunday doesn't mean you don't love and care for people.
He broke a lot of those rules.
He did.
You can't do this on Sunday. You can't do that. You can't do... Yes, you can. It's interesting to me because growing up in the Mormon church, I don't know if people are just hopping on or what, but they talk about Adam and Eve and how they ate of the fruit of the tree of good and evil. And when they ate the fruit, they learned the knowledge between right and wrong. It's talked about in the scriptures that at the end of times, wrong will be right and right will be wrong. That's not saying that's only going to be true for a few people. That's the vast majority of people.
Yeah. And I asked, like, one of the stories in this, what would you call the Book of Mormon? It's like another testament of Jesus Christ. Okay. So there's a story in there where there's a bunch of people that hold fast to the iron rod and they get to the tree. And then there's a bunch of people who are more vain and like they mock the people that are there with partaking of knowledge and stuff. And there's this great and spacious building that they talk about all the time, and all these vain and horrible people are mocking the spiritual people. And I've never thought about that, but I was like religious people are starting to make me feel like they're the people in that great and spacious building, because I don't see a bunch of spiritual people on the path that I'm on going and mocking and like trying to drag down and make people's lives living hell. But I do see religious people trying to drag down other people. So who's in that great and spacious building that's supposed to come tumbling down and go to like hell or whatnot? Is it me?
It's a very good point.
Is it me? because I've had so many people be like, I wouldn't be here today without the help that you provided. So if I had stayed in that box of religion, and if I had not listened to the promptings that I was getting, if I had not stepped out, the people that I have helped continue wouldn't be here, then I would probably be stuck in that great and spacious building too. But I have accepted my path fully. I do still have self-doubt because a lot of people do persecute me. That's another thing. Like,
Not your customers.
if you're on the right path, if you really are making a difference, if you really are sharing your lights to other people and bringing other people love and light and comfort and acceptance, and really on this path that Jesus wants you to be on,
That's an easy
it's
path,
not
isn't
going it's not going to be an easy path.
Oh,
It's
dang it.
going to be hard because darkness is going to try to bring you down. The only people that have tried to bring me down are religious people.
I like, just to pause, I like what Sandy talked about. Religion is always a touchy subject. Other people don't, if people don't understand, they don't have to judge. This is just how we feel about things. You know, if somebody chooses to take offense at something, that's on themselves. So I'm glad that Sandy touched on that. Like, are our views isn't necessarily right? No. This is just how we feel.
Just our
And if
opinions.
somebody out there thinks something different, that's totally fine. You talked about the Blue Buddha lady. She actually, I don't know. It's interesting to me, okay? I used to be one of these red-blooded American, just like, I mean, come on. I grew up in the Mormon church. I didn't go on a mission, obviously, because I was a naughty boy. But I joined the military. Like, I'm a very manly man's man.
Masculine.
And
you're a very masculine
now
man.
you're into all this hokey pokey weirdness, and I've supported you the whole time, but it's gotten easier. It wasn't easy at the beginning.
Because of the validation from people, though, right?
I've seen a lot of interesting things. I've grown a lot because of it. But crap, I forgot where I was going again.
That's why we need a notebook.
Shoot, I gotta think about it. Where was I headed with that?
The Blue Buddha is
Yeah, the Blue Buddha.
Okay.
So I don't have the gifts like Sasha has. Like, I did take the Reiki courses with her. I did 1 and 2, and like I've done them. I can Reiki the kids. I can. It's interesting too. Side tangent. Don't let me forget to come back to that. The priesthood blessing. Just remind me of that. Okay. So anyway, Blue Buddha. I don't have the gifts like Sasha. The vibrations and all the. She's way more in tune than I am. Okay. But I can watch somebody's live, and I can tell if that person has good intentions or is just not a good person, right? So this Blue Buddha lady, she's just a very loving, interesting person. I've only seen just in glances of Sasha watching her. But Sasha was telling me that she has a business kind of similar, obviously way bigger and more professional, and not in a basement. Anyway, but she's got a shop and all this fanciness. Maybe someday. But she's not judging. She's accepting of anybody. Some lady comes into her shop and starts questioning her son, who's 18, and he can have his own opinions of stuff.
Well, I don't know how old he is. I just said
You told me he was 18.
I threw out an age so that you would understand that he was older.
Well, I don't care how old he was.
Okay.
That made no difference to me. I don't care how old he was. This lady comes in and starts questioning him on his beliefs, saying, well, how do you feel about stuff? Basically saying that the Blue Buddha lady he thought things because of the Blue Buddha lady. That bothers me. So, I'm just not going to beat around the bush. My dad asked me if all this hate and anger was coming from Sasha. Because Sasha had an abusive childhood, and we had to cut her family loose, right? We can only carry so much, and if you're not willing to walk with us, then I can take you with me. I don't mind carrying, but can't carry you. So we had to cut our family loose. And my dad, he was like, is all this coming from Sasha? Now, I don't know how most marriages work. Maybe I have a skewed view of it. That's insulting to my wife. No, this isn't coming from Sasha. The fact that my family betrayed me and that I reacted angrily about it comes from me, not from Sasha. That comes from me.
Don't read the comments.
You've gone deep. Like this, I don't even know what this is anymore.
We were reading a book, but you
like
have
now we've moved into like true drama. Like I don't specifically had that conversation with him. That's insulting to me. You mean to tell me I can't be mad at my family for abandoning us and persecuting us? Like, I'm just going to throw it out there. That's persecution. You've put us through emotional hell.
And we have been very respectful to his family. I had my business for
2 years.
2 years. We never talked about it at family things. They didn't want to know anything about it. They wanted to just pretend it wasn't a thing. And that was, you guys know how hard we work at our business. Like, we're on here every Tuesday. We're constantly posting, constantly shipping. Like, this business is our family, as part of our life. But we respected them very much and never, like, we didn't want to make them uncomfortable. So we never talked about it.
Yeah. We were that respectful that it did come up occasionally if someone asked a question, but we didn't try to push any of this on any of them or anything. We didn't talk about it for 2 years.
But I caused it all. Persecuted, bless. Right. It pushed us further on this path. And everybody's testimony and validation through the business, like anytime you guys get a reading or
this is therapy.
You guys
this is the best therapy ever. Sorry.
Have said anything, like if I tell you something, then you come back and say, oh my gosh, you were totally right, or this happened, or thank you so much, or without you I wouldn't have been here, or like you really helped my depression, this, like all of the validation that you guys constantly give me with all of the efforts that I put out there to help everybody heal, so you don't have to go through so much pain and trauma and heartache that I went through. That's what gets me to not stop when I've got all this hate from some of the closest people I've ever known. That's what really pushed me to be like, no, I'm not gonna stop. Plus, I have Troy behind me, which really helps. Okay, should we?
Should we what?
Read the next paragraph, or are you going to keep
going?
No,
we shouldn't read the next paragraph. Put that book down.
We might be done with the book for tonight. So
I like Kristen's comment. She's like, "This is therapy for Troy. This is good therapy."
Put the book down.
Anytime.
It's the whole point. We're on here.
Anytime I even tried to talk about these things with my family, I was full of hate and anger, and it would turn into a fight. Do I sound like I'm full of hate and anger? You're talking about all these people that I don't know. There's no like HIPAA here, but I mean, HIPAA. You are respectful of your patients, but Sasha she's had.
I try to keep.
I don't know if you know what seminary is. Seminary is it's actually part of our school system here. You can take a course and go learn
a religious
about the gospel.
Course in high school.
She's had a seminary teacher come who her husband had passed away. I'm going to cry here. I'm going to cry. Okay. Her husband had passed away during COVID. The first night that she was able to get any sleep was after she came to see Sasha. You tell me that's hate and anger? Ugh.
And like his family just wanted me to stop and give up on this.
She's just supposed to turn her back on that? She's had...
I can't.
Relief Society president? Which, I don't know if you know about the Mormon Church, but the Relief Society president is basically the highest calling a woman can have in the church, because God hates women to have any power whatsoever. I mean, in the let's be honest, okay? This whole thing has opened my eyes a lot. And you're talking about, of all eternity, the Mormons have priesthood. Okay, that's what they call it. It's priesthood.
Don't get too religious. Don't get too religious.
Actually, I've done both. Okay, so I took the Reiki courses with Sasha, and I've done Reiki. Lisa just hopped on. I hope we don't scare her. We've gotten pretty deep, Lisa.
Well, and now Carrie's on.
Carrie hopped on too?
Yep.
I don't hate Heidi, Carrie. Heidi hurt us. That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. The Mormons have priesthood, okay? And only men can have it. And I never, ever even questioned that. Until all of this completely just opened my eyes to many things. Not just this specific topic. But you're talking about all eternity? God doesn't want women to be able to help heal people? That makes no sense.
Well, and I think that
and I've done both. Sorry. I've done both. I took the Reiki courses with you. And then after I'm level 2 actually. Reiki 2. But it's the same. I've done both. It's the same. It feels the same. It's energy flowing through you. I've done both.
Right.
And it's the same.
And a lot of people who have received priesthood blessings and have come and gotten a Reiki says it feels very similar. And that makes a lot of people kind of scared. So, because again, if we go back to that part where it says chakra healing is affiliated with the specific religion, and that's a myth. So I say this over and over again, like everyone has energy, everyone has the ability to do healing, everybody has the ability to doing energy work. So therefore, priesthood blessings, like any kind of religion that does any kind of laying on of hands, it is a form of energy work. So
they don't really want you to pursue that, because then you kind of you move past the need for that.
Well, it just makes a lot of people nervous, because like they think you're trying to get rid of religion.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a good way of putting it.
But I'm not doing anything to try to get rid of religion.
You're trying to grow yourself.
Yeah, I'm just trying to grow and help other people grow.
You don't want to get rid of anything. The goal is just to grow yourself.
Right.
And why people hate that, I don't understand that.
It's the same thing that I just said. Like, if you're on the right path and you're helping people and you're doing the right thing, the path is going to be really, really hard. If you are on the wrong path, and then Satan doesn't care. He doesn't have to worry about you, because you're not fixing things. You're not doing things that makes him worry. If you're on the right path, you're going to be persecuted. He's going to try to bring you down. He's going to try to stop you. And again, more validation that I have to push through any hate or
Can I just say
stuff.
Like, people will talk about how they feel the spirit. Mm-hmm. It feels so great down here in our poorly lighted basement. It feels so great down here. This is amazing. This is probably your best life in 2.5 years.
Well,
and it's about nonsense.
Oh my gosh.
And it's amazing, and I love it. I love it.
if you do talk about the crystal room, though, people do come to my house to shop, and every time they say they step in here, they love the energy that's in this room. This room is so comforting to them with all the crystals and the energy that's in this room. Like, there's so many crystals, thousands of crystals.
Exactly, Crystal. Crystal just made a comment. They're just hateful. I don't necessarily agree with that. They're confused and lost. That doesn't necessarily mean that they hate. But
some people do it with hate.
Nothing is going to change their mind. Yeah, some people do it with hate.
A lot of people are just confused.
Nothing is going to change their mind. Through this whole ordeal, no amount of proof, evidence, screenshots, nothing would even remotely get them to say this is wrong. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. But yet the other side
doesn't have to
Carrie,
show
if you're
anything.
still here, sorry. I don't hate Heidi again. I yet to this day, a whole year later, I don't know why. I don't know why. Why?
It's just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I want to live there. You want to live in the crystal room? Come sleep on the couch. The couches are actually comfortable.
I slept down here once. It's not bad.
Yeah, but you sleep down here when...
One time.
Yeah. I don't ever kick him out of the bedroom. He kicks himself out. Okay. I feel like we could get this next part done. I want to get this next part done.
Is this another myth?
No. And then we'll stop at this chakra basics. We'll just get this next part done and see if anything else comes up. Chakra healing warnings. Uh-oh. What does that mean? When engaging with healing your chakras, there are a few things you should remember as you begin. Be patient with yourself. I often find that those who are just starting to get in touch with their chakras lose patience with themselves very quickly. Often they begin to judge themselves as failures if they don't see immediate progress. Please remember that everyone is different. Everyone has their own perfect timeline of their personal unfolding, and
That's
everything is happening exactly as it should. Yeah, but you put yourself down.
I'm just gonna pause you. That's me.
I don't feel the crystals like she does,
okay,
or whatnot. You can't talk poorly to yourself.
That's just who I am.
You can't talk poorly to yourself.
It's the same as if you were to start going to the gym. It's a muscle. You're not just gonna instantly be in great shape.
It is closed-minded.
And I struggle with that. I want to be able to do what you do. It's a muscle, and I want that instant gratification. I didn't just wake up one day like you and have all these special talents.
Well, your spiritual gifts are going to be different than my spiritual gifts.
What's my spiritual gift? Getting mad at people? Come on.
Your spiritual gift
You're the spiritual gift, and I'm the brute.
No. You have spiritual gifts too. There's a lot of times that you're pulling from spirit. When there's like big decisions that come up for the family, you'll be like, oh, we need to move. Oh, we need to do this. Oh, we need to, like, there's a lot of the times he'll be like, we should stock up on this. And he'll go and get it. And it's like 50% off, or it's like really crazy. There'll be like a huge discount sale on the things that he gets, and he'll get it and he'll come home, and the next day it's back to regular price or a higher price. Like, you have spiritual gifts too.
I have done that. I'll agree with you on that. I don't control it like you do, but although I will just have things happen.
But everyone's spiritual gifts are different. And everyone works in different timing.
Dawn made a very good comment too.
They would be like, yeah. Well, and in organized religion, people in higher standing, like, people are not perfect. People are not perfect. So you have this organized religion, and you have these beliefs that are great beliefs to have. But then you have very human people running organized religion, and they can say some of the meanest and do some of the worst sins to people.
They can also sway the congregation's opinion. Here I am trusting in these people of authority who are not perfect. You can't just follow them blindly.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you don't think that it's possible that let's just say the prophet of the Mormon Church. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not. That's just an example. I grew up Mormon.
The highest of.
He's the leader of the Mormon Church. Satan was one of God's. He was what the first. I don't. What was it? He was high up there.
God's right-hand man. I don't know.
And he fell away. You don't think it's possible? How many prophets in the scriptures
fell away from the path?
And I'm not necessarily saying that this one has. I'm just using it as an example of people shouldn't just follow blindly. You should ask questions. You should form your own opinion.
Mm-hmm. People are not perfect, and people who are in the higher positions, who do those negative things, can affect a whole generation of family from going to an organized religion because somebody was slighted so poorly because of something like that. Everyone should be accepted in everything, regardless of if they have tattoos, of if their preference for whatever partnership they want. Everyone should be accepted, and everyone should be allowed to worship the way they want to worship. Everyone should be allowed to pray the way they want to pray.
That's what America was founded on. Religion. Being able to worship the way you want to worship. I don't want to say that's why I joined the military, because it's not. But I fought to protect that. If you want to believe the most outlandish thing you can possibly imagine, have at it. That doesn't bother me. Why it bothers other people, I do not know.
I don't know. Okay, where were we at? Chakra healing, whether it is being cultivated to address a specific issue or to attain enlightenment, is an inner exploration, not a goal. Because of this, just as with physical healing, chakra healing is not something you can simply speed up. However, receiving healing treatments and other techniques can clear out energetic debris and bring your energy centers more into harmony. Transformation takes patience. Be compassionate with yourself as you bloom. Do not push yourself past what is comfortable or force your energy. When people are eager to connect with their chakras, they often push themselves past what is comfortable. However, you may soon find yourself with a headache, literally, as soon as you start feeling some resistance. Take a break. You can't rebalance your chakras all in one day. You can't heal a certain chakra all in one go. Like, there are layers. Like,
I'm thinking about Shrek.
Shrek, yeah, I was. Could you see it?
Yeah,
because you could see it.
Shrek's got layers.
Yeah, layers. Like an onion. That's what the chakra is, and that's how I feel. Like, we're healing. Each chakra has a layer of trauma, physical, spiritually, and emotionally. And each time we're working on that, we're peeling back a layer of that trauma off of there. Now, we can't get to that center super quickly. So we've got a lot of traumas in our heart chakra, right? And, but we have to start with the things that are most on the surface, the closest to the surface, before we can get down to that. Like, if you take Troy, for instance, Troy, if
Easy.
Well, you've been putting your feelings out there.
Yeah,
listen, So listen to what I got to say.
Therapy. Crystal
Listen.
had a good point.
Exactly. So if we talk about
just
Troy's,
be nice.
if we listen, if we talk about Troy's heart chakra, well, what's on the surface right now? Probably his family stuff. Troy's got trauma from military. He's got trauma from childhood. He's got trauma from school. He's got other traumas stuck in that heart chakra. But before he can get to that gushy trauma stuff in there,
you never get into it.
He's gonna have
build those walls.
Shut up.
Build
he's
them high.
gonna have to work on the surface level stuff that's in his heart right now, which he's working on tonight. Clearly, he's done purging some things. So that's why you can't like get in there all the way and heal in one night. And when I do like a Reiki, I tell people sometimes you could get a headache because we've moved energy around and now your body has to digest it in a way, like because it hasn't had some of that stuff pushed out and up to the surface again. So you could get like a stomach ache, you could get a headache, like it manifests in different physical ways for that energy to purge and come out. Sometimes you cry, sometimes you get really angry and push energy out that way. You kind of go up and down in moods. It's really crazy when you start working on your chakras. Where are you going with this?
Fix me.
I was just telling them how working on a chakra is like layers.
Just snap your finger and I'm better?
No, hun, no. It's layers. So he's going to continue to have to work on that family thing that's coming up before he can get to the next layer. Or if you want to work like on your, let's say you have fertility problems. When we get to the sacral chakra and we're learning about that, we can see what emotional traumas and stuff like that can be stuck in there first. And so you might have to get rid of these emotional traumas that are stuck there before you can get down to fixing the physical hormonal problems. Everything is in layers. It's a journey. Once you start this journey, it's a long journey.
It gets easier. It's weird at first. That part gets easier. You know, I used to never even, like, I put your sticker on the back of my truck. That's a big step for me. I don't put stickers on my truck. That's something I was always, Dad never did that. I put your sticker on the back of my truck, but I would never talk about your business. I wouldn't seek people out to, like, hey, my wife's into this weird stuff. I didn't talk about it. It was kind of weird. I supported you, but I didn't go out of my way to bring it up. It gets easier.
Yeah, now you'll bring it up a little bit.
A little bit here and there.
A little bit here and there.
I don't push it on anybody, but I
Oh gosh.
That's a long one.
I know, I clicked it and it went down.
You read it. And I'll continue, like, I had a topic I wanted to bring up, actually. Can't remember what it was now. She does this thing where, like, she can't focus on more than two things, or more than one thing. So even me just trying to talk about a different subject while she reads is going to freak her out. Like, I could just try to talk to people.
Stop.
Yeah, see? Exactly.
You know, so then you trigger me anyways.
It's out of love.
Yeah. It's sad.
Helping you work through
that. That's sad, Sandy. That's never gonna change. My mind cannot focus on more than one thing.
Crap, now I gotta read.
It is never gonna change. That's really sad. That's another thing that I see myself doing is when people get close to the end of life locally, I want to be able to go and do Reiki on them for free.
For a small but reasonable
for free? Or for my gas.
You want
like $5.
Forget the gas. Come on. I was making a joke.
But I want
it's
to
all about
help.
The money. You don't want to milk some dying person for as much as you can before they go?
See if I could give them a little bit of comfort with Reiki. I've seen myself doing it So I know at some point that's going to be something that I start doing. Like, or say a baby's really sick in the hospital and they don't know, like if I went in there and did a Reiki, like I want to be able to do those services for free to help. Like if I see somebody post on social media that somebody is really, really sick, like their child or something like that, I will automatically send distance Reiki for free. I just want to help as many people as possible heal.
That's absolutely horrible, Sandy.
That is horrible.
And that's from somebody that's in a position of authority that's supposed to
come and help.
A shepherd, you would call them a shepherd.
No, you would call him a piece of crap.
Well, his position would be a shepherd. That's absolutely horrible.
So as soon as you start feeling some resistance when you're working on a chakra, you get a headache, you get a stomach ache, you feel like dizzy or whatever it is, or you just get a feeling I should stop. Sometimes people say there's like a shakiness that they feel when they're working on a chakra. If you get that all the time, some people get that all the time when they're working on a chakra, then don't stop. But if you're working on a chakra and you start to get that shakiness, then I would stop. Take a break, give yourself a couple weeks to digest that, and then you could go back to trying to do that spot again. Get help from a healing practitioner when it's necessary. You can accomplish a lot on your own, but sometimes guidance can be helpful, especially if you feel like you're hitting a wall in your healing journey or the pain manifested is affecting your quality of life. If and when you decide to get help, make sure the practitioner is licensed or certified in their modality. Check them out thoroughly before making an appointment. Ensure it will be a good fit for you and that you will feel safe. So that's another reason, like I said that before, you need to make sure, like, if you're not going to me for Reiki, you guys should know by now what I believe and how I believe, because I say it. Just make sure that they're not somebody that's saying that they are all powerful and can cure cancer and stuff like that. Make sure that they're knowing of where their limits are and that your body is actually the thing that does the healing with the energy work. Your body is the thing that's powerful, and the stuff comes from light, comes from source, comes from the divine, comes from all powerful, whatever you want to call that, that's up there. But and that's the same thing for readings. If you get on somebody's live or somebody's saying, oh, I'm doing free cards, I can pull you a card, or oh, I'm doing free readings, I can pull you a reading. Be cautious in doing that because you are giving them permission to touch your energy. And if they're not protecting themselves, if they're not doing it out of love and light, if they're a greedy person doing stuff for the wrong reasons and you allow them to touch your energy, it's not going to be for your highest good. Does that make sense? I never say that I'm the only person that can do stuff for you, or that you have to just go through me, or something like that. I just want to cautious people, like if you're going to people for these types of healings and for these types of things, make sure that you know what they believe. Make sure that you're aware that you're allowing them to touch your energy. Are they really a good person? Do I know this person well enough? What do they believe that they're tapping into? Stuff like that. Are they a good person? I'm definitely not in it for the money, because I would charge you guys $100 bajillion for a reading. And the majority of the time they're free.
On Fridays.
Freebie Fridays.
Freebie Friday.
Sometimes Mondays, sometimes on our Tuesday lives. Like,
there's a lot of the time I actually don't really even like her pulling for me. I don't know if anyone's ever seen Rick and Morty. It's a stupid cartoon show, but there's an episode, right? And it uses crystals as an example. So there's this magic crystal that shows Morty the future. And in the future, he's on his deathbed, he's with the girl that he's got a crush on. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to be with her. So he follows everything that the crystal's telling him to do. And it turns out at the end that wasn't, she was at the nursing home. She wasn't with him. She was like the nurse taking care of him, and he had ran off everybody else in his life. And so there's a lot of times where I'm like, I don't really want the reading because I like to feel like I'm in control of my own destiny. And if she tells me something, then does that make it happen, or am I making it happen? I don't know. It kind of messes with my head a little bit.
Well, and I get really frustrated when I see like certain readers that are like yes and no's. Yes and no's I don't really like because that's subjective to the timeline that you're on. That's subjective to that moment, meaning no. Like am I pregnant? People will do those questions, or am I going to get pregnant, or stuff like that, or should I get this? Like, I don't normally do yes or no's because it shifts. Like, you shift your path so many times, like a million times in one day. Maybe in the moment you were in that job that we were talking about, yeah, that would be a good job for you, but then something happens and somebody at that job makes a different choice, a poor choice makes that job worse, and now like, you know what I mean? Like, so I never try to give you guys definites, because I don't want you, and then I never try to like give you for sure you need to get a divorce, you need to do, like, you know what I mean? So like if you're ever trying to make a decision, I usually try to pull, well, if you say yes and if you say no, this is what the positives are of you saying yes, and this is the negatives of you saying yes, and this is the positives of you saying no, and this is the positives of you saying yes. So I try to pull in a lot more information to try to help me make sure that I give you information. But then again, when I'm doing a reading also, it's interesting too, because something that I tell you in your reading, you should always write down when you get readings too. You should write down little like journal notes, because sometimes something I'll say won't resonate for you then, but it can resonate 6 months from now. You can go back and read that and be like, oh my gosh, she said that I need to make sure I do this when this happens, or stuff like that will come back. Like, it can mean something different. Your spiritual promptings are different. The spiritual meaning of something that was said 3 months ago and now I'm reading it again today could change my perspective completely. It's so crazy. Everything's crazy, you guys.
It's a lot easier when you look back on things to see how it was all connected. You can't really see it when you look forward, but when you look back, you can see the connections. Like, for example, Sasha, before she started all this, I heard her talking about her lymph nodes and stuff a while ago, but she was having a lot of health issues. And we actually had a family blessing. So the Mormon, I don't know. I feel like every time I gotta explain it, I don't know. There's probably people out there that don't know how it works, but the Mormons,
I don't think a lot of people in here are Mormon.
They do blessings, right? And it's essentially
a lot
Reiki.
of church do blessings.
You're saying a prayer to help heal somebody, but we did a family blessing, and in that blessing, specifically, she was told it is okay to look into holistic
alternative
healing.
Ways to help heal yourself. And I had went into that family, it was like a Christmas party.
We didn't know if she had cancer or not.
Yeah, they were talking about cancer. And so I wanted a priesthood blessing. So it's just a blessing where all the men stand in and they lay their hands on your head, and then one of them in charge that's assigned speaks through channeling from Heavenly Father to you. That's a form of mediumship. And he just lets it flow and lets the words come out that need to come out for this prayer. And in that prayer, the one in charge specifically said, you can look for alternative medicine. And I had went into that with the idea of, should I pursue Reiki? Should I do more things with Reiki on myself, and learn more about it? And that was in the prayer. So I was like, aha, he answered my prayer again. He does want me to search this more. So I was like, wow, that's such.
Well, and it was around that, I think it was after that, that you started seeing the doctor. So what's his name?
Billstrom.
Billstrom. He works for the local hospital, and he's the specialist for autoimmune disorders. We found out you didn't have
He's
cancer.
like world renowned for autoimmune disorders.
How many people nowadays have autoimmune diseases or these freaky, weird diseases that they can't figure out what's going on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he is the guy, right? Well, you already kind of talked about this, but he loved the fact that you had been meditating and stuff. Harvard has done studies where if you meditate, you can change your cells. They've proven it.
Oh, that's another thing. You can change your DNA through meditation. So like he was talking about that, and I was like, what?
So she started seeing Billstrom, and she started looking into Reiki. And here's the great part. When she does Reiki on somebody, it heals her too. That energy is flowing through her. So she's double dipping.
I am double dipping.
She's not trying to get rich off of somebody, but you got to be compensated a little bit for your time. But she's also getting healing too. Mm-hmm. Kind of sucks for me because I have to take the kids and leave because they're too loud and it's supposed to be quiet.
By helping to heal others, it helps in healing myself, which helps a lot with my chronic pain from my autoimmune stuff.
Which they cannot
figure out.
Sandy's mentioned that.
It takes 7 years on average for somebody to get an autoimmune diagnosis. I could battle this and I could try to find what it is specifically that I have, but I literally just do not have the patience nor the time nor the will to sit. And I've already seen 1, 2, 3, 4.
Did you talk about how you had a biopsy done?
4. I want to see. I've already seen 4, maybe even 5 doctors before I went to Billstrom that all couldn't figure it out.
She had a lymph node cut out of her neck. The biopsy.
But the biopsy came back inconclusive because the DNA, there was, even though the biopsy was big, because the lymph node that was in there was like right here, it only had 5% of DNA in it, so they couldn't diagnose based off of that.
It's, I hadn't even really thought about that till just now, but it was amazing the amount of support, family support we had when everyone thought she had cancer. Uh-huh. When everyone thought my wife was dying. Turns out she's just crazy and trying to help people.
It's okay, babe.
I never thought about
that. It's okay. Because I have the ailments that I have, I'm able, like, it put me on this path. I wouldn't have done this path. I would have never looked into Reiki. I would have never looked into this stuff because, again, I was a nurse and I was all about modern medicine. I mean, that's literally what I studied and like worked really hard in. Like,
she was great at it.
Because I was using my gift and I didn't realize it.
She would tell the doctor.
But because of my ailments though, and not being able to get help from modern medicine, and like that's the only reason that I was able to turn to Reiki and like obviously God wanted me to help other people. He wanted his people to have extra help, and this is how he wanted me to participate in helping other people.
Look at it like this. Your mind and your body.
That is a long process, Don.
Your mind and body is what makes the soul, right? The two together?
Mind.
Or is it completely different? Yeah, well,
I think your body's different.
We'll just use it. Your mind, body together.
Mind,
I'm
body,
gonna
and
say
soul
creates your soul, because that's who you are. Your mind and your body together, right? People will work so hard on their body, but they don't want to work on their mind, their spiritual growth. That's the most powerful part.
Your mind, yeah. They actually say that there are crystals in there. Like, they have discovered that there's, I think they say it's in the pituitary gland too, which is also interesting because
your third eye has crystals, doesn't it?
I think that they found the third eye has crystals too, yeah. So, and they, like, crystals are in everything. It's so crazy. They're in your remotes, they're in your computers, they're in our brains.
They use quartz a lot.
Yeah, quartz is amazing.
Quartz is, in technology, they use crystals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I don't know what I have. And I literally, like, it just pisses me off to talk. And that's another thing with women and trying to get diagnosed. Like, they just say it's our anxiety and depression. Like, I literally have big old lymph nodes. Like, you guys
Your gallbladder.
have taken.
You go through all this stuff and they'll be like, oh, it's your gallbladder. Because they you don't need it and they don't know what it really, they can just take it out.
Well, yeah. But anyways, like, they can see the physical manifestations on me, but they would be like, we don't know what it is.
We'll see you in a month.
See you in a month.
It's a specialist. That actually happened. They had the biopsy out of her throat.
I went in for the biopsy results.
When she swallowed,
and I couldn't stand. I was walking like a 90-year-old woman.
When she would swallow, she could feel the lump from the lymph node on her throat.
Which was
so they cut it out and they did a biopsy and it was only 5% usable. And the guy goes, well, it was a useless sample, but at least we got it out and I'll see you in a month. Because he's a specialist. And all specialists are booked a month out. Modern medicine.
But he didn't give me a plan of care.
No, not at all.
He didn't give me a plan of care. And then the other two specialists that I saw before that, oh, they were mean. They literally, like, they put in my notes a whole bunch of, like, one of them made stuff up. Like, and I'm a nurse. I was a nurse at the time. So I could go back and look at his notes, and he made me seem like a freaking psycho, like a crazy person. He said that I was like, I can't remember what the notes.
That your pain level you described as being scalped by an Indian.
Yeah, scalped by an... I would never say that.
She's a nurse. She worked at the same hospital as this guy, and that's the quality of care she got.
But to make the next doctor that I saw, he then sees those notes, and then he thinks I'm crazy.
Therein lies
so he
the
won't
problem,
do anything.
though.
But none of them would touch me, and I'm like, you see the lymph nodes.
The minute they put something like that in your chart, though, you'll never be taken serious again. And modern medicine is a freaking joke anymore. They'll triple book the same 15-minute slot. How can you do that? I'm paying for this time to visit the doctor, and you've booked 2 other people to see him at the same time? They don't treat you anymore.
Did you see what? Of
yeah,
course
I laughed at it.
To have someone giving you a heads up to go to the ER.
That freaked me out when you did that.
Yeah. So when Troy sees the messages between me and people that I help with physical ailments...
You told me about it. I don't see the messages.
Well, with Ariel you did.
I don't remember what happened with Ariel. You'll have to remind me later.
But like sometimes he'll see people send messages of validation.
I get emails.
He gets the emails.
For whatever reason, it's attached to my email, and I don't know why.
He's trying to fix it, so it doesn't do that.
It's annoying.
I get a lot of messages, but sometimes he'll get freaking weirded out. But I get weirded out by myself too. I get weirded out by myself too. We've got to be done. We got to end this live because I need a bath.
You started this.
I know, but we're
I
done.
wasn't even up here. I was having a great time. I was chilling on the couch, just enjoying me time.
You were probably playing your zombie game.
And then you dragged me down here.
Okay, we stopped at page 18. We will go live and do this kind of a live again on a Saturday, as long as I don't get any Reikis scheduled on a Saturday, and as long as as long as I don't get Reiki scheduled on a Saturday, we'll do this again. If you want to get this book so that you can follow along with us, it is on Amazon. I guess Faye jumped on here at the beginning and she said that she got it at her Barnes & Nobles for $3. So if you have a Barnes & Nobles local to you, I would go run in there and see if you could find one of these. It is the Chakra Healing Book by Margarita Alcantara. I think it's on Amazon for like $15. Anyways, this is the first book that you guys chose to have us read. I say us now because Troy came down here.
I was having a great time.
But we'll pick this up again
next Saturday. I heard your
Saturday.
Little comment. Oh, he probably, because I'm not bothering him. I was having a great time.
That's what I thought, because normally I'm kind of naggy at night because I've got lots of thoughts and I've got to get stuff done, and the kids are finally in bed so I can talk to them about things. Diagnosed by doctors saying yeah, like your weight. Nope.
I've had similar, actually. You can read and not shush me. I can talk to Sandy and you can read. I've had similar. Okay, I'm middle-aged, slightly overweight. Okay. I go through the VA.
That is so mean.
They tested me. I had low testosterone. I'm not shy. I'm not. Sandy's saying her issues. It's fine. I have low testosterone. I have the testosterone of like a 70-year-old
My
general.
testosterone's probably higher than yours.
It is, because your issues, you soak it back up through your gut, which is weird.
I have high testosterone.
So, but the VA won't treat testosterone until you've had a sleep apnea test. So I go and I take the sleep apnea test. I came back negative for sleep apnea, but I was so borderline that the VA treats me for sleep apnea. But then they told me, and my primary care was doing me a favor, and she knew the VA is not going to treat my testosterone, so she recommended that I go private care. So I've been doing that for the last year, and they started me out on the gel. No effect whatsoever. They tried pellets, which are supposed to be good for like 3 months. The first 2 worked, and then my body's like, nope, no effect. So I only recently started on the shots, but like what was
funny? What's funny about the shots, Troy?
Sasha wanted the shots from the get-go. When she was still working as a nurse, that's all they would do is shots.
Well, no, it's because I'm also a medical intuitive medium. And I knew what was going to work best for him was the shots. And now this will be the 3rd thing we've had to come around to. And guess what they're going to try?
He's a great doctor, and his nurses they've been great to me, but they sat me down and he told me I have never had a patient not respond to the pellets. And they tried to tell me what I could do to try and backdoor getting VA treatment. If I can get a consult to see urologist. And then they find out I have low testosterone. I don't know. It's a long story. But he was trying to help me out, and they've been great. But yeah, he told me I've never seen this before. I've never had a patient not respond to the pellets.
Why did you just talking about how modern medicine doesn't help?
I was no, because Sandy made the comment about, they said it's because I'm overweight. They said sleep apnea.
We need to treat the whole person, mind, body, and soul. The whole person.
There's a lot of holes in modern medicine. Doesn't work anymore because they've gotten away from trying to treat the whole system.
And it's become a lot about greed too. It's become really a lot about money and hierarchy, and we've got to use this specific
as much as they can. They want to run every test that they can. Like they're not trying to make you better.
Well, they're not trying to heal the person. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, you guys, Wow. So I got on here at 8 to 9, 9 to 10.
Percent.
Two
So
hours.
I haven't actually found anything specific. I wouldn't be surprised if years down the road they link the low testosterone to the burn pits.
The burn
I'm on the
pits.
burn registry because we burned everything over there. But there's nothing out there now, but there's a lot of vets that have low testosterone. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised if down the road, Sandy, they link something.
I always say I want him to get like a yearly chest x-ray because of those burn pits over in Iraq. That makes me nervous because they literally just, to get rid of anything that they had, they would just throw it in
Burn pit.
a burn pit. And so like all the plastics and carcinogens and stuff like that, like they're just breathing in.
I did read an article though that was, and maybe this is part of it too. It was talking about how veterans have low testosterone because when you're in that heightened state of adrenaline all the time, it damages your testosterone, like your receptors.
Well, that could make sense too. You love, like, that's the one thing he does miss from the military is the adrenaline.
Oh, it was great.
The adrenaline is addicting.
Everything.
Constantly thinking about being.
Everything else sucked.
Is addicting.
That adrenaline is fantastic.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Anyways, you guys, go get this book before the next Saturday, or just come and visit with us on Saturday for these lives. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that we didn't scare anybody off with our religious talk. We still love religion and religious people, and
you can think what
we're
you
very
want to think, and that's fine.
Yeah, we're very open and loving and accepting of all people and all views, and we just don't think any one person should be persecuted for stuff or judged so harshly that you like disown them for their beliefs, you know. So I love you guys. I hope you guys have a good night. All my rewatchers, #replay. Let me know that you enjoyed this and that we should continue doing these lives. And Troy should continue to come down and do
no,
side notes.
Not. Build those walls. That's my side note. You can only be betrayed by somebody you trusted. You can only be let down by somebody you depended on. That's my side note. Build those walls.
No, don't do that.
Build them high.
Nope. Troy, that is the word. We are all about healing and loving and acceptance, and you just told them to like block off their heart chakra. We were just tuning in and showing people how to like fill their heart chakra and not close it off, and you're literally telling them to build the walls. Build that layer of onion so that it'll take us 50 times longer to open your heart chakra. Let's not listen to Troy.
You want me to break me down, you want me to say it. Let love and light in. You want me to say it, you want to break me down. I'm broken and damaged.
Everyone's a little broken, and it's beautiful.
I cope with building
There
walls.
is that one, if you guys haven't heard the song by Callie Reed, Broken and Beautiful, and you haven't seen the music video, you should watch it because it's about that Japanese tradition where like if their pottery, their like teacup or their glasses or their plates get broken, they take like clay or whatever to fix it, and then they paint it gold. And then that piece is more sacred for what it's endured, for the cracks. So for the challenges and the cracks and the pain and the trauma that's in your heart, you have survived, and it has made you more beautiful and amazing. It has made you more helpful and understanding to other people. Like, you are beautiful just the way you are with all those cracks, Troy and everybody else. Listen to that song, Broken and Beautiful by Callie Reed, and watch the video. It's very, very powerful.
Did you see
the guy brings in at the end, she like breaks a bunch of pots as she's singing Broken and Beautiful. And this guy comes in, and it's kind of like he's God. And he comes in and he sits there and he fixes the pots, but it's like a metaphor for like him coming in and helping her see how beautiful she is and stuff. It's beautiful. So anyways, you guys, George,
Crystal,
stop
Crystal
adding.
did a bunch of laughing faces. That's not Matt. I love you, brother.
That's enough.
Okay? I love all of your people.
Can you stop? Because I really want to get off of here. I need to go shower. I love you guys. Have a good night, and we will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.